Today we will be talking about secants, tangents, and angle measures. Remember, a secant is a line that intersects a circle at 2 points. A tangent is a line that intersects the outside of the circle at exactly 1 point. Theorem 1. If two secants intersect inside a circle, the angle measure equals 1/2 the sum of the measure of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. This means that if we wanted to find the measure of angle 1, it would equal 1/2 the sum of the arc of AC plus the measure of arc BD. If we wanted to find the measure of angle 2, it would be the same sort of idea. The measure of angle 2 equals 1/2 the measure of arc AD plus the measure of arc BC. Example 1. We want to find the measure of angle 2. We have this formula from the previous slide. Find the measure of arc AB plus the measure of arc DEC first. The measure of arc AB plus the measure of arc DEC equals 360 minus the measure of arc BC plus the measure of arc AD. This equals 360 minus 30 plus 20, which is given to us in our picture, equals 360 minus 50, which would be 310. Now we plug that back into our original equation. The measure of angle 2 equals 1/2 the measure of arc AB plus the measure of arc DEC. This equals 1/2 310, which is what we found above, which would be 155. Theorem 2. If a secant and a tangent intersect at the point of tangency, then the measure of each angle formed is 1/2 the measure of its intercepted arc. This means that if we wanted to find the measure of angle ABC, it would be 1/2 the measure of arc ADB. Example 2. We want to find the measure of angle ABC if the measure of arc AB equals 102. The measure of arc ADB would equal 360 minus the measure of arc AB. This equals 360 minus 102, which is what we're given in the problem. This equals 258. Now the measure of angle ABC equals 1/2 the measure of arc ADB. This equals 1/2 of 258, which is what we found above, equals 129. Theorem 3. If two secants, a secant and a tangent, or two tangents intersect in the exterior of a circle, then the measure of the angle formed is 1/2 the positive difference of the intercepted arcs. This means, here is an example with two secants. The measure of angle A equals 1/2 the measure of arc DE minus the measure of arc BC. This example is a secant and a tangent. The measure of arc A equals 1/2 the measure of arc DC minus the measure of arc BC. The last one is an example of two tangents. The measure of angle A equals 1/2 the measure of arc BDC minus the measure of arc BC. Example 3. We want to find x. The measure of angle C would equal 1/2 the measure of arc EA minus the measure of arc DB. X would equal 1/2 of 120 minus 50, which is what we're given in our picture. This would equal 1/2 of 70, and x equals 35. Our last example, we want to find x. So the measure of arc WRV equals 180 degrees, since it creates a semicircle with the diameter. The measure of angle Y equals 1/2 the measure of arc WRV minus the measure of arc ZV. The measure of arc Y is what we're given in the equation, so 45 equals 1/2 of 180, which is what we found above, minus 10x, which is also given to us. Now we solve for x. 90 equals 180 minus 10x. Negative 90 equals negative 10x. And 9 equals x.